You have been wanting to learn how to use the Dyson if you have long or textured hair. This is the perfect video for you. I have hair that is very hard to work with and is very long and also has a lot of texture. This is the perfect video. I'm going to show you how I use the Dyson, how I kind of talk through how I try to make my hair last for a week long without washing it with using the Dyson and then heatless curls. But follow along and I'll kind of show you how I go from wet hair to hair like this in 30 minutes. Okay, I always start by brushing out my hair and then I just go in with just the Dyson. This step really is so important, so really try to get all of the hair close to your scalp as dry as possible. So I just start by putting on the big attachment and then we're just gonna get started curling the hair. I always will try to pull and then let the hair come back as well. I find that helps. With this section, really just try to keep pulling and then releasing the hair. This just helps straighten out the hair as you are curling. And then always remember to do the shot of cold air at the end of the curl. If my hair has some kinks in it, I'll brush it out before I start doing the Dyson. And if it's super wet on the bottom, it doesn't really pick up as well. So you can kind of like rub to dry it a little bit. Like these pieces are not sticking on. So you can kind of wrap them around, which helps. I always find the bottom just a little bit harder. I have coarser hair on the bottom, but either way, just take your time and there really is no rush. I always find that sometimes my hair looks infinitely better when I just take more time and leave the hair in longer. So take your time. And you'll see how this side is getting a little poofy. I'll get it wet again before I start to curl it, just because I feel like it helps when it's wet. And then I need to go ahead and do this side. So I need to get it wet again. So I just re-wet my hair and I find that what re-wetting it does is it allows the curl to be reset, or the hair. If I do it when it's dry, sometimes it can still have more of a wavy texture versus when it's wet. It holds better on the Dyson and on the barrel. Okay, I find the most important step on the bottom so that you don't get bumpy hair is using a flat iron that's kind of a comb. Even if you just have a flattener, or sorry, a straightener, that is what I would use. But I have the bumpiest, waviest hair texture, and I have found that when I do this step, it really just kind of takes out the bumps that I typically get. I throw all my hair to my shoulders, bring it forward, and just start by immediately brushing it out. And this just helps me to be able to differentiate between what I've already done and what's wet. Okay. The top section always goes by way faster. I think it's just because there's a lot less hair. But for the top, I recommend getting smaller pieces. It helps just helping the hair be more curly, especially because you want the top hair to look the best. So I always try and do smaller sections for the top. Okay, so this is this side done. Before, after. Let's just crank out the last side, switch it over, and then get into it. The last thing I always say is that there is such a huge learning curve. You learn how to hold your hands. You also get stronger because you are going at this for 30 minutes straight, but you get the hang of it. You only need one hand when holding the curl, which is so nice, versus a wand where you need both hands in action. But truly, you will learn so much as you just begin using the Dyson. All right, so here is the finished look without kind of doing anything to it. So just stay with me here. This is the important part. You take your flattening iron or your straightening brush, and then I just make sure that I get kind of all the areas close to my scalp. The slower you go too with your straightener, the better. So just slow down, really make sure you're getting out the heat or any trapped moisture in the hair. The Dyson one last time. Grabbing the brush attachment. If you really want more volume, you take your brush, you go in the back and just kind of go back. And then you bring it forward and then it just kind of gives you lots of good volume. This is the finished product. I would heavily recommend a wide tooth comb. I don't have mine right now and your fingers work just fine, but a wide tooth comb will kind of give you your loose blowout curls. And it also is just so nice to use. You can give yourself some more texture too if you go back combing just a little bit on your curls, and then you'll get even more oomph. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is how I make my hair last a whole week. So typically I'll start the hair wash week by doing the Dyson just like what I did. So I'll Dyson out my hair, and then for the next 2 days, your hair is pretty perfect. Like you'll sleep, it'll kind of revive itself, it'll kind of rebounce back. If not, or if you're working out, I will typically just redo with the Dyson just like my top layer. The bottom layer is kind of okay. It will kind of hold the curl depending on your hair. So I just kind of have my Dyson, I have it for the first 2 days. And then every night after I use heatless curls. So these are the ones that I've been using since my freshman year of high school. You can tell they have been loved, but I just love this one so much. Recently I've been experimenting with a thicker band. I'll link everything that I have on Amazon, but this one is a thicker heatless curl, so it gives you more of the blowout look. I'll say this one looks more like if you did a curling iron, this one looks more like a blowout. So I would say thicker rod if you want more of a blowout. That's all I do. I just put in my heatless curls and then I just wake up and go do everything. I will say if I am running a lot more that week or doing hot Pilates, you really should wash your hair. It's harder to make it last, but if I'm just doing Pilates, weight training, walking, I am so sad. I really only wash my hair once a week. And then I will use a little bit of dry shampoo in my hair as well, and I'll link my favorite ones below. That I use, I need to go put on a hair oil. I've been loving the one from Trader Joe's surprisingly, but Kendra, it's in a gold bottle, also has a really good oil. I have the driest coarse hair, and so I have to constantly be putting oil on my hair or else it becomes really wiry. Let me know, I'll link all the products, everything that I did use, and all my favorite hair products, but hope this was helpful for you. I wish I could just kiss this thing. Like, it's the best product ever, and I've been loving it. I've had this one for about 3 years now, and I had one before that still works great, and my mom uses it now. So they are great products and definitely worth the investment. But have such a good one.